That's more than any other technology in the market. And we're ready to start launch it for sales as a research use only device by the end of this year.
Okay, we have another episode of the Form Your Own Pack podcast. My guest today is a prior graduate of Y Combinator. Was it spring 17? Is that correct?
Winter.
Winter.
Yes.
I got the wrong one. Well, Liza is the founder of Delee, and I think I said that correctly, right? Is it Delee?
Yes.
Super. Well, thank you for joining me, and maybe we can just start off with who is Liza and what is Delee?
Sure. So, hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm Liza Velarde. I'm the co-founder and CEO, as you mentioned, of Delee Corp. We're a medical devices company that created a technology for early cancer detection and treatment monitoring through the isolation and analysis of circulating tumor cells from blood.
Wow, sounds like such an important thing. What motivated you to start this?
Well, as you may know, and everyone in your audience may know, cancer is still the second leading cause of death worldwide. And one of the main reasons that is so deadly is the lack of tests that enable early cancer detection and treatment monitoring in an effective way. And we have been working together for the last 10 years in order to solve this problem. And we saw a solution through the CTCs, or circulating tumor cells, that are cells that come from the primary or metastatic solid tumors and then infiltrate into the bloodstream. The problem was, how do you have access to those cells? Because they are in really low quantity. You are going to find 1 to 1,000 CTCs in a background of billions of blood cells.
Okay.
So that was our main challenge.
Wow.
And after you get and recover the circulating tumor cells, now is the issue of how to get information from those cells, because that's what doctors need: information about the state of the patient, or what are the characteristics of the tumor, so they can prescribe the right treatment for their patients. And we did it.
Wow. And so how did you get started on this? Like, what was the first product, or what was the first step in building this?
Well, it was through my co-founders, Alejandro and Juan. They were doing their master's degree in order for to develop a technology for rare cells isolation. And we decided to get it to the cancer. And I managed to get the first funding for them through an elevator pitch with the CEO of Heineken.
Oh, wow.
He gave us $50,000, and for that we decided to start working on getting the first prototypes.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, it's such an important area, so I really applaud you. What stage is the company at, and what are you guys doing next?
Well, right now we have a functional technology, and we have it tested with different cancer cell lines of breast, colorectal, prostate, and liver, with over 96% capture efficiency. That's more than any other technology in the market. And we're ready to start launch it for sales as a research use only device by the end of this year.
Okay. And then what is it, the actual device itself? Like, what does it look like, or what would I expect if I were to use this?
Sure. There are two machines that work interconnected. Basically, this is how it works. So we take a blood sample from a patient and then introduce it inside our devices. And the device is completely automated. So you introduce this blood sample together with the reagents, you play, and in less than 20 minutes, we isolate the circulating tumor cells based on their size and the formability compared to other blood cells. So after that, once we capture the CTCs, we have two options. One to retrieve the genetic materials from the circulating tumor cells, and then do molecular testing as PCR, the technology that detects COVID, or next generation sequencing as technology for companies as 23andMe. Or we color the cells by immunohistochemistry, and we put it inside our high-end microscope. That basically what it does is that takes a lot of pictures and identify the cells according to the color, and gives you a full report of how many tumoral cells there were in the sample, and according to the number of cells, that's the stage of the cancer of the patient. Also, if they have any specific characteristics.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, wow. So what's next for you guys, and how do people get in touch with you?
Sure. So right now we're raising funds to traditional VCs and also to crowdfunding. We have a page back in Republic, and you can help us through our crowdfunding platform, or you can get us to our website, that is www.delee.co.
Terrific. We'll make sure to include that in the show notes, including a link to your Republic page. So that's great. All right. So I don't want to move too fast. Is there anything we haven't touched on that you think is really important for people to understand about what you're working on?
Yes, that it's a technology that works, and we have published our results on Nature Scientific Reports. So this technology is real, and we're ready to start delivering to the market first as research, so we can have a little revenue and cover the cost to get into the FDA.
I love it. Okay, that's amazing. I'm in an area where there's probably a lot of medical devices. We'll try to connect you with some people there that might be better suited than I am to, but happy to highlight this. This is really exciting. All right, so if you were to give other founders one piece of advice that would be really important, what would that advice be?
Well, there are different advices. The first one is to be passionate about your idea, because it's going to take some time for you to get into market or to grow to be successful. And the second one is to find really good co-founders. Co-founders is like marry unspoused, but in this case you cannot divorce that easily. So it's really important to select really good co-founders so they can help you grow the company together.
I love it. Well, one of the themes that we talk about too in Founders Pack and Form Your Own Pack specifically is the role of allies, alliances, and partnerships. So what role has either community or any other type of partnership been in your growth and success so far?
Sure, be part of communities, especially with other founders, because only a founder understands another founder. All the pressure and all the problems that we face almost daily. So be part of incubators, as I have been from Y Combinator, started from Stanford, even communities that are supporting, for example, female founders as Cartier Woman Initiative Awards. They are really important because you need that support from people that understands you and can help you even with questions about manufacturing, PR, or how to manage the first employees, everything that is important for you to grow as a founder and later on to be successful as a serial entrepreneur later.
I love it. That's great advice. Is there anything that we want to touch on before we wrap up?
Good question.
We can always catch up later. Well, I mentioned you before. I do want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Zavia Bader from Trajectory. She is an entrepreneur that has a company that basically they have a platform. It's an AI-based platform where they're an advocate for patients that have been diagnosed for cancer. I think she'd be a really good person to connect with you. So I want to make that introduction. Thank you so much for spending time with us. The final thing I want to wrap up with is when we have really interesting founders on, we like you to nominate either other founders, maybe Y Combinator, maybe not, or investors that might be great for our community to learn from. Who would you, Liza, like to nominate as a future guest of the Form Your Own Pack podcast?
Yeah, I would like to introduce maybe Poncho Rios, the CEO of Nowports. He's the CEO of a unicorn company here in Mexico.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so he's growing really fast in the area of logistics.
In logistics?
Yeah.
Terrific. Okay, and how do I pronounce his first name? Is it?
Poncho.
Poncho, it is Poncho. Okay, Poncho, you've been nominated as a future guest of the Form Your Own podcast, Form Your Own Pack podcast. I'm getting used to the name of the podcast, as you can tell. So, but I'm excited about the people we're getting to meet. Thank you so much, Liza. I really appreciate your time today, and we look forward to talking to you in the future.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity.